But it should be coming out probably a similar time. So I actually have 3 planes now. And Paul has a plane that he brought in. So I'll go into detail about what he did with his. So it's pretty neat. And a little bit more work on my stompa, but that is to come later. Bosco Gumnook. Hey Dan, I'm starting an army with you doing a Scorn Hordes army. Although I am a little sad how everyone is doing a War Machine army, no one's doing Hordes. Regardless, good luck with the Bomba and happy wargaming. Well, thank you. Actually, a lot more people are getting in the Hordes now around the club. I'm not so much Matt or Dave, or Chris. But the Overseer just started collecting Circle. And I know a lot of people one person had Retribution, is now collecting Scorn. My brother's collecting Legion. I saw a few other people in here the other day also playing Circle, and just Hordes is getting more and more popular, which I like actually. And I'm kind of itching to play some Hordes, to be honest. I'm not sure if I want to do Troll Bloods because they're just so much like Orcs, and I kind of want, and they're like big models, and they really work with synergy off each other a lot more. Like Hordes is more about synergy because of all the animuses working together. Like Menoth has tons of synergy for, you know, War Machine, but in Hordes it's just synergy is a lot more necessary for your list, which I kind of like. It takes for a little bit more planning in your turn and really thinking things through and make sure you don't make the silly mistakes so you can just blow the crap out of your opponent. But I think I'm up to it. It'll be fun. Because right now with Cygnar, I kind of... well, there's 2 basic lists for Cygnar, as far as I can tell. Now, I still have to test out a lot of different casters. But the 2 different lists that I've figured out with Cygnar so far are the list where you have a little bit to bog them down and you just shoot the crap out of them. Like, shoot the crap out of them, and then your melee is kind of just deal a little bit of extra damage, mostly just take some hits, and hopefully die in one turn, and so the person attacking is out in the open and you can blow the crap out of them as well. Kind of like tiered little gun line. So there's that, and then there's more of a melee list where you can move in more so, and you're the one doing the smashing. And Cygnar actually has a lot of good answers too, because they have a lot of high armor models, decent speed, and lots of damage output. Not quite as much damage output as other Hordes and stuff, but you always have to fit, I think, a little bit of range in there for whatever reason. Just because that's where the big damage from Cygnar comes from a lot of the times. Although Stormclad for the longest time, you know, had that base POW 19, which with a few casters you can boost up to POW 21, or POW plus strength 21, which is pretty strong. Actually, Jordan with his Stormclad charged my Stormwall and was wailing on it with 3 focus, or 4 focus I think. I did 4 focus. 4 focus with it was Epic Striker. It had positive charge on him. I think it might have been bonded to him so he can get that extra focus. Anyways, he ran up and he almost killed a Stormwall by himself. Like I was like 8 boxes away from dying. Although he was a little above average rolls the whole time, so he would have had to have... You just need to charge with 2 jacks to kill a Colossal. That's the secret, boys and girls. You want to kill a Colossal, charge it with 2 heavy jacks full of focus and wipe it out. And then that Colossal probably costs more than your 2 heavy jacks or War Beasts, hopefully, or equal. And then their return fire, like damage, you'll be so far ahead that you'll probably win the game. My strategy with them thus far has been Darius hides in the back, And lots of guys going around, blah, blah, blah. And the storm wall just positions himself, uses his range, using covering fire all the time, just preventing infantry from bogging him down at all. It's great. And just like blasting the crap out of stuff. You only need like 2 focus usually on it. Upkeeping either Arcane Shield with Junior or Fortify because of Darius. Just that 2 armor, although all the extra stuff from Fortify, Colossus get naturally. Like not knock down and push, move, throw, all that stuff. But it's really important to just zone out everybody. And so when the opportunity presents itself to come and wail on the Colossal with your big guy, only one big guy can get in. You make sure of that. Even if you have to suicide something else in front, make sure of it. Because one guy will go in and he'll wail and wail and wail and he will not kill it. He'll damage the crap out of your Colossal. He'll do so much damage that it's like way more points worth, like equal. Like Colossals can't really take a hit for their points worth. They can do lots of damage for their points worth. They can't take a hit worth their points worth. It's kind of standard in War Machine, I think. But what I'm getting to is that Darius can feat. Then you erase all the damage boxes that were here to your Colossal. Your Colossal's fresh. Like, it's the most effective use of a feat ever. It's ridiculous. It almost needs to be like FAQ'd because it's so powerful. But I like it. Darius, arguably the weak caster, all of a sudden becomes an incredibly strong caster. That's assuming that they can't kill a Colossal in 1 turn. Although then if they ignore it completely, win-win. So, good times to be had all around, but thus far it's been a very solid strategy, and it's the same thing. Everyone wants to take down the Colossal. It's like a pride issue. They're like, I want to kill it. And you're like, okay, I move him up, but then I position so only one guy can get to him. And you're like, I'm getting the Colossal. They charge in, they don't do enough damage. And then it's over, and then my remaining turn, I could just, those 2 big fists that power plus strength 20, you just, boom, 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 and you like kill 2 heavy war beasts, and you're like, me. This was pretty awesome. I need a bigger brush. So, although they're expensive and maybe not, well, Colossal, the Stormwall is pretty competitive, I think, with all its juicy guns and everything. But yeah, if you fit in your budget, he's really fun to assemble. Goes together pretty well. Just nice big model, huge base to do with what you will kind of thing. I've never really done bases before, so it was nice to start on like a nice big base. Lots of freedom. He kind of poses arms just like this. There's not that much freedom of modeling, I guess, but it's really enjoyable to have it done for any of you who have like finished apocalyptic Colossals, like Gargantuans or super heavies or whatever. Like when you just take your time, paint it right, end product, something to be proud of. Something to put on the shelf that people will know. Like they see all these like little tiny guys and they're like, oh, that's cool, but like until you get close, you can't really appreciate the work that you've done on it. While Colossal is a little more obvious for people to appreciate. Not that I'm looking for that all the time, but it's nice. It's nice. You can agree with me on that. Oh, there's another. I'm reading it backwards. Oh, Lumpu. My mother walks into the room and asks, who are these guys I hear talking all the time? Are those grown-up men still playing with those Warhammer things? Yes, we are. Not playing. I'm working. No. See, it's kind of weird because Warhammer kind of has a few stages, like there's a stage where like you're young and you just want to play with, and they're basically like toys, right? And then just all they are is just you get your little toys, You paint it up. Some people paint it up really nice when they're young still. They like actually take the time. I didn't even buy models. I played with Legos. So just wanted to play with, right? And then it gets to the stage, usually there's a break in the hobby. You put it down for a few years or a few decades. And then you pick it up again and you start getting more into the painting. And you realize how fun it is to collect and paint. And there's a lot of middle-aged men who really enjoy it, and everyone in between as well. But you'll find they, not always, but quite often aren't very strong gamers, but are very strong hobbyists. And really enjoy the hobby for what it is. And then the game is kind of like an excuse to have the hobby going. And so, although they're still toys in a sense, because you play with them and compete with them, they're a lot more than that. That's my opinion on that. And I don't know if I'll be doing this till the day I die, but as of right now, I can't see myself stopping. Lots of fun, good friends, lots of complaints to Games Workshop. Not that many, actually. Flyers are fun, by the way. Playing with flyers, hilarious. So that was there, and then we're going up at Limpook. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. My dad was like that. Oh, my dad was like that. My mother always said, "Wenn die Kinder spelen sin sig gesund." I probably slaughtered that. Meaning, if the kids are playing, that means they have to be healthy. She still says that, and I'm 28. Very nice. I'm 26, so we're not too far apart. So I like that. You know what? I'm gonna start using that. Hey, if I'm playing, it means I'm healthy. And it's actually a pretty good philosophy on life. Obviously to a point. You can't overdo it. But something you enjoy, especially Warhammer, you like, well, I'm thinking in Spanish again. Desarrollar, develop. You develop talents, right? Painting, playing, strategizing, building, modeling, whatever. All awesome things to have done. Conan, have to live on instant noodles for a week in order to afford a Colossal. Worth it? Depends how much you like instant noodles. I'm not a big hater like a lot of people are. Instant noodles are actually not too bad. And so, it's really up to you. Which Colossal are you getting? That's the question. And if it's not released, then start collecting now, so you don't have to go instant noodles for a week. You can go instant noodles once, or 3 meals a day for 7 weeks. 3 meals a week for 7 weeks. So that's 7 days worth, yeah. And so you spread it out, save the money, don't get sick of noodles, and you still have the same amount of money saved. That's one thing that's hard in life. You have the discipline to save money. And only spend it on really like what you plan on spending it for, and not have too many impromptu purchases. You'd be surprised how much money you can spend. Like save, I mean. Like, and just like, I remember when I was 19. Yeah, I was 19. And obviously, well, I was still living at home. But I was about to leave to California for a couple of years as a missionary. And that cost about $13,000 at the time. Just kind of give it to the church for 2 years. And that's very cheap if you think about it. So I was willing to pay it. But I had a total of, I think, this isn't to brag or anything, I don't know if it wasn't very popular or I didn't like spending my money. I didn't have any reason to spend money. I didn't really date anybody, so the girls didn't steal all my money. I didn't buy really too many clothes. I was happy with what I had. Just like some basic stuff, free t-shirts at events. It's good enough for me. And occasionally you buy like a pair of shorts or pants that's on sale. So really not much money, and then I never really listened to music, so no money on like CDs or anything like that. And video games, my older brother always bought them when we were playing growing up as kids. And I was just like, okay, great, I will play in behind. And he's like, hey, but then, yeah. So I had lots of money, so I had like about $19,000 saved up. All went really fast, you know, because we don't gain an income as a missionary, and so all the money just sits in the bank. I invested a little bit of it, but then school. But since then, I've been able to pay for school up front. I haven't gotten into any debt, except for my car, which will be paid off in a few months. I'm so excited. I gotta replace the tires. Ugh. Money, 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 money. So anyways, there's always things to spend money on, but if you just try not to spend your money, try to be frugal, and just, you know, only spend money on what you plan on spending it on, and then just holding off on the rest, you'd be surprised at how much freaking cash you will have in your wallet. It's a lot. And then when something like a Colossal comes out, you're like, hey, I got some extra cash. Okay, so Robert the Wise. Oh, I know what you mean, Dan. Dave. Why'd you say Dave? I use 4 languages on a fairly regular basis. The result is a complete mess in my head. Sometimes it gets quite annoying. I know, right? Like, when I was first learning Spanish, I was getting French mixed in just all like public school. Just all the French you learned there, or didn't learn. I wasn't the best student in the world learning French. I was like, I'll learn French because it's useful. And I was like, I hate French. I am barely going to pass this course. But anywho, I think you got a lot worse than me. I can't imagine like speaking on a regular basis. And going back and forth. That'd be pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Finch is weird. She has all these like cords going up and everywhere. And her coils. I have a feeling that I'm going to spend a lot of time on little electrical details coursing around their armor to do this model justice. Because they are HQ, want to make them look good. Because they'll stay on the board the longest. Because if you kill them, well, the game's over. And then you start another game early with the HQ. So not only is he in charge and you should look good, but it's the model that statistically will stay on the board longer. And we'll get more eye time. So paint them up nice. I've never really thought about it that way before. It just popped in my head. But I like that philosophy. What color did I paint your... You don't have any pants. You just have a big cloak. Oh, what pant color should I get you? What cloak color should I give you? I don't know the answer to this question. Lone Star. Hello, Dan, the Orc God. Your Orc tactica has helped me greatly in building my list and choosing units I will use. I like your Orc Blitzer Bomber. I am planning to build a Daka Jet for my 1500 point list. How do you plan on using yours? What tactical will you use? And for Chris, Orc Bomber looks like a little, like a German Stuka. All it would need is a bend in the wings and a shorter tail. Yeah, well, by now there's a few battle reports up of me using my planes, and the bomber actually is less and less useful, that I find. And it's sad because I like the idea of it, of dropping bombs. I might build some burner bombers, or at least one. I have enough bits to make, oh, I might be able to make 2 actually.